And we're back. This is the Mailman with Luke with the Rebel Without a Cause and KC, the Moonshine Band, and confabulating on Memorial Day.
And barbecue.
Barbecue.
Good old barbecue.
And a lot of people spell it in a lot of different ways. But most people say it doesn't matter how you spell it, as long as you do it right.
Yeah.
You can spell it BBQ, BARBECUE, BARBEQUE, however way you choose to spell it, but just do it right and you'll be accepted.
I don't care how you spell it. I just want to smell it.
That's right. And taste it.
And taste it, of course.
Now, I want to know about that primal scream. No, I mean...
primal cut.
Oh, yeah.
You get cut deep enough, you'll do some primal screaming.
Yeah.
A lot of the barbecue began the same way that soul food began. That people would take the less desirable cuts of meat because they weren't as expensive and other people didn't want them, and they would cook them low and slow. And the longer they cooked them, the more it starts to break down the collagen in that meat till the meat becomes tender. And at one time it was, basically scrap meat, briskets, pork shoulders, whole hogs, and nobody really wanted to eat that. And the people learned that from the Spanish coming over, they saw the Native Americans cooking large cuts of meat, whole animals, over a rack of burnt embers, and they'd have them on a wooden rack suspended up in higher over the wood, and they learned that the method they used would really tenderize it till it was just, fall apart if you cook it long enough.
If it's low and slow, doesn't it get dry?
No, because those primal cuts usually have a lot of fat in them, and that fat, and then when you begin to break down that collagen, that also is makes it moist.
Right. That is doing a number on my
low and slow. Yeah, that's the way to go. When we go camping, we used to cook ribs all the time. We haven't done it in a while though. My buddies and I go a couple times a year. We would build a nice big fire, let that cook down, let that burn down pretty good. Where we had a whole lot of coals, and then we dug a little pit like right next to the fire, and we had like a couple pieces of wood on either side with a grill, a piece of grill of some kind across there, and we would just from time to time just keep shovel the coals over there and just keep a nice little glow going over there and cook those ribs nice and slow, and you don't want to baste them when you put them on there. If you could baste them at all, you do that near the end because that makes them cook faster and makes them burn. Actually, if you're not careful, you put just before when you're going to turn it over one or two more times.
It can turn bitter on you.
This is when you want to put your sauce on. Don't do it. A lot of people just put it on the grill, start slathering it on there. That's not the way to do that.
I'm realizing I know nothing about it.
Well, if you take a side of ribs and cook it real quick, like in 45 minutes, it'll be tougher than a yellow toenail. You won't be able to eat it.
That's bad.
I don't know if it won't taste that bad.
Yeah.
But it'll be tougher than
what do they taste
toenail.
like?
They'll be chewing for a while.
I never ate one.
You got to do it right. Some people cheat, and I'm guilty of this if I don't have that much time.
Please don't tell me.
Just put it in the oven on very, very low for about 100 degrees or whatever, and cook it down and get it just about cooked, or then take it out, then put it on your coals, and then you take some wood chips you've soaked in water for an hour or two, and put those on the coals,
right.
And then that you get hickory chips or whatever, or whatever kind of chips you want, and it just smokes like crazy, and it flavors the meat.
The molecules actually get into the meat, huh?
Now, you don't pour the water on there. You take the chips are wet, and you dip them out and just put them on the coals.
Well, I was about to cringe because I was afraid you were going to tell me about he's going to boil the ribs.
Oh, Lord, no.
I always think if somebody tells me about it, I said, do you know how you make broth? I said, you boil the meat and get the flavor out of the meat, and that makes the broth. So why would you want to do that to something you're going to eat? Why would you want to boil the flavor out of it?
That's right.
Man.
That is right.
That's why when we cook out, I always hand the equipment over to somebody else.
There you go.
Well, you're probably doing more grilling, actually, though.
Grilling, I guess I don't do barbecue.
Well, you don't have to worry about all that stuff.
When
you're cooking hot dogs, hamburgers,
Even pork chops.
I mean, I have to
or whatever.
confess
chop,
to you, I've done it the
pork
wrong
steak.
way. I've just put
Well, you learned a lot today. You
slap
did.
that stuff on there and say, okay, it's barbecue.
You're ready for Memorial Day now.
Well,
You
my
can-
wife never caught me. She never
can
said
do it
anything
right.
about that.
Oh,
And barbecue,
Maybe she learned wrong.
yeah,
it could be.
it's being used generically now. You know,
Yeah.
people talk about going to fire up the barbecue and they go throw steak through on it. And that's not barbecue. That's grilling.
Yeah.
Cooking outdoors.
Yeah, it is. I always thought it was all the same thing.
It's almost a religion to some people. They're so
Oh, it is
serious
very
about
much
it.
so. I mean, they get, and it's very regional. Very regional. They,
Yeah.
different places like.
Do you do any ceremony before you start doing it? I mean, it is kind of religious.
I marinate the meat sometimes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
marinade.
I've done that.
Sometimes we inject them.
Oh,
We do an injection.
my!
With
Is that legal?
Yes, as long as you don't put any of the wrong herbs.
You can't, and don't use needles. You know, use fresh
Yeah,
needles.
fresh
Oh.
needles. Now,
And dispose of your noodles properly.
That's right. Don't throw them away at the beach, like they do in New Jersey or wherever it's at.
but in North Carolina, or South Carolina, North Carolina, they're divided within the state from eastern and western to what kind of barbecue they like and how it's done and the sauce.
The sauce,
One of them's got a
especially.
tomato based and one of them's got a mustard based.
How do you maintain all this knowledge?
You eat a lot of barbecue.
Yeah.
It's just second nature. It's just
love-
You absorb it by osmosis while you're eating it.
Yeah, I'd say if you love something and, you pay attention to it,
Barbecue
you learn
speaks
about
to
it.
you.
And in Alabama, they even have a white sauce.
If you want to do it right, you pay attention.
Yep.
and you don't learn this in school.
Unfortunately, no.
No.
Who teaches it
Culinary
to you?
school maybe, but this is a.
Is this handed down?
It could be secret.
And a lot
Father
of times,
to
but nowadays with the internet and TV, you have TV shows that are
It's out there.
dedicated to barbecuing, and you have TV shows like the Food Channel, the Cooking
Do
Channel,
women know how to do this?
Destination America.
Some do,
Oh
yes.
yeah, some are very good.
Or I was thinking it was a man thing.
My wife knows how to barbecue.
So
Some
she-
things are secret.
She can hand down that information.
Some recipes they do keep secret for
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah, a lot of people won't share with you what their rubs are,
No.
what their barbecue sauce is, and they have little secrets.
So if
that
they were
keep.
to accidentally pass away, it would be all
Gone with 'em.
Gone.
But rubs are a good thing to
It's
use
sort of
too.
like
He'd mentioned
Bush,
rubs.
he's got all that
Rubs are good.
information in that sauce and his beans
Those baked
locked
beans.
up in a safe.
Him and his dog know it.
Duke.
Oh, so I hope he has it willed out to somebody that they get that.
The dog, but he can't read, so we may be in trouble. But I've had good barbecue and I've had bad
Oh, I've
barbecue.
had some I wouldn't hit.
I've had to compliment some that I didn't like.
Yeah, I had some I would hit the hog in the butt with.
Well,
That's
so
pretty serious.
you go to a picnic or a big outing or something, something down at the Civic Center or something. Chances are you going to get good barbecue? Or
Yeah.
You
Yeah. If you
try
go
to find out who's doing the cooking before you go. But you could get 10 guys standing around a barbecue pit while they're cooking. You're going to get 10 different opinions on how
Yeah.
to do some stuff about the process. But
But usually there's one or two people doing all the work, and others got they're hitching their pants and
that's right.
See, that's why I
Talking
always
trash.
handle over the utensils, because the first time somebody says you need to do this or you should have done that, I think, well, here you go.
There you go.
There you
And when you're barbecuing, speaking of the utensils, you don't use anything to poke the meat.
Yeah, that makes sense. You don't want to lose those
No,
juices.
you use like tongs,
Yeah.
not thongs.
Don't be putting your thongs on my barbecue.
Or you use spatulas
Yeah.
to
That's
turn
right.
the meat, but you don't use.
But it can be
Forks.
metal. There's no special type of metal or just.
it doesn't
yeah,
matter.
okay.
Just don't stick your
I
fork
wasn't sure
in.
how
Don't
detailed.
stick your fork in there and let all the juices run out.
That's right. Did you hear about the vampire chef?
No.
His name was Count Spatula.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't resist that. Anyhow, we're about out
I
of
knew
time.
it was going to be corny, but damn.
Big time. Well, this segment is about gone, so we got about 20 seconds so we're going to have to let you be thinking about barbecue. So you go out there to get you some stuff. Make sure you do it right.
Pretty well cooked that one, right?
We gave you some clues, but you can Google it if you want. But either you're grilling or barbecuing. Decide what you want to do, and we'll be right back.
Barbecue.